Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim for another of my, what I'm considering side series. Oh, getting cold already. I don't understand why the embassy is way up here in the north. Absolutely dreadful. I have also forgotten this character's name, and I just created her not too long ago. This is Venera. Venera? Venera? We're gonna go with Venera. Venera is a member of the Thalmor, if that can't be told by the fact that she's dressed as one and the fact that she's currently hanging out outside the embassy of the Thalmor as she gets started here in Skyrim. Now, she is a member of the Thalmor. She is an agent of the Thalmor. She has been given a task. She's been cooped up at the embassy for far too long, in her opinion. She is a proud and very high-standing Thalmor. She's pretty much what I expect all high elves to be, who serve in the Thalmor. Stuffed up, noble, basically a bunch of really crappy qualities of themselves. I haven't set anything up. I've gone around the embassy. You actually start inside the embassy. I wanted to be outside the embassy, though, because I wanted to get us pretty much going. Now, she is going to be a little... I probably should have gotten this at least set up with Magicka. But she is going to be a little bit different from some of our other characters. One of our big differences is, well, our current running characters, I should say. She's going to be closer to Sarah in some regards. The first thing that is big about her, she does have a change of clothes. There's a reason for that. We're going to be talking about that later. She has a staff of lightning bolts. She will be using this sometimes, but not very often. She's more akin to using her own magicka, although she doesn't have very good magicka. She's a little too proud of herself, and she didn't do much studying up to this point. I would say she's probably pretty young as far as a Thalmor is, as far as a high elf is considered. She's probably much younger than some would think. Now, that brings up a good first step for things to be said about her. She is not going to be a hunter. She's not gonna butcher creatures. She's not going to sully her hands with such dirty tasks. She's a proud high elf and has no reason to bloody her hands and clothes with the beast of the wild. Nor does she have reason to sleep in the dirt of the wild. She is a proud Thalmor. She'll sleep in the inns that the Nords provide. Yes, they're going to be lowly and under appreciation of her glory, but she is going to be sleeping in them. Now, she's not going to be able to claim that she is part of the Thalmor for very long. She's actually, we'll switch her clothes now and say that she changed while she was in the embassy. Because that was why I grabbed these. I just didn't think to actually switch out. We also grabbed this necklace from inside the embassy. I think it's her own personal necklace. And then we also grabbed these hooded robes. I actually originally started with these robes, but I wanted the hooded robes because I like the hooded robes for better. And she will be wearing her Thalmor gear sometimes, but majoritively she's going to be claiming that she is not a member of the Thalmor. She's just a high elf. Now, she does agree with the Thalmor, at least that's what she can say right now. Her duties do not make her to where she can't say that. But she does want to eventually get at least some decent elven armor. She doesn't need elven armor, she's more of a mage, but she's not against wearing armor. Like I said, though, she's not going to be hunting, she's not going to be gathering in the wild. There's no reason for her to do any of that. That's not what she's doing. She's not going to join the Legion. I can say that right now, since she's definitely not joining the Legion. We might go down a different path. I haven't decided yet, but I will bring it up later. I do have kind of an idea of where this is going to go. We're going to have her stay and watch the execution.
Or you need to go home. Go home and stay there.
I will be talking through the execution, though, so don't expect me not to talk while they're executing Grogveer here. But Venera definitely does have her own thought process towards all of her beliefs. Her personal god is that she is a god. She believes in the chief god Ariel. Ariel is the chief, is the high divine that she believes in.
There was no murder.
She might switch to
Ulfric
Magnus
challenged
eventually.
Thorin.
I don't know.
We beat the
We
High
are going
King
to
in
probably
fair
go to the
combat.
College of Winterhold at some point
Such
as
is
her,
our
because
way.
it makes sense for her
Such
to
is
want to
the
go learn
ancient
more
custom
Magicka.
of Skyrim,
But it all
and
depends on how she
all
runs her shop. Now, she's got a few different things that she's supposed to be doing. She's got a few different missions about Skyrim that she's supposed to do. We're gonna watch this guy get his head chopped off because he is a traitor to the realm because he helped Ulfric Stormcloak. And off it goes. But she'll preferably use magic. She can use a sword. She has been trained in swordsmanship. She has also been trained in the bow. She does not like using the bow, though. She feels like magic is the superior path in existence. I almost picked a different god that she could have worshipped, which basically would have given me more books and magicka for her to learn. I almost went with that one. I did not, though. So we don't have access to much magicka, which is one reason why we might go to the College of Winterhold and might see if we can get us some more magical abilities from the college. Now, now I'm going to say that she has a special item on her, whether it be a necklace or a bead that she's carrying, or it's just some kind of magical item that she can use to communicate with, what's her name? With, Elwyn? It's the chief of the High Elves who's up at the embassy. I saw her as I was leaving the embassy. I tried talking to her to see if there was anything special I could get as a Thalmor, but she just basically acts like any other NPC. But what Venera, I'm going to keep forgetting her name. I should have gone with my own personal name because that would have been better. I decided to go with something generated by Google. Let's look and see. Venera. Venera is definitely, but she has a way of communicating with her. Venera will check in with her every once in a while. She'll be given tasks to be completed. The task that she has right now, she doesn't have to do at this moment.
Citizen.
She's allowed to make herself feel as part of Skyrim, as she is supposed to be going undercover.
Hello, yes. I'm the Dean of History.
Working in with the city. She's allowed to do whatever she feels is necessary to survive, to make money. She's allowed to hunt bandits. She's allowed to basically do whatever she wants as long as it's not kill, as long as it's not worship Talos or, join one of the military sites. They don't want her to join the military because they like where the Civil War currently is. Right now they want the Civil War to be equal because that's weakening both the Empire and Skyrim and preparing for when the High Elves eventually take. She doesn't. Venera doesn't know that. Venera feels like she should just go down and destroy Ulfric Stormcloak. She wants to march herself down to Windhelm and destroy Ulfric Stormcloak. Well, that would be what she would normally want to do. She does have some information from the leader of the embassy. My cat's making noise, probably because she's trying to get my wife's attention, who is currently asleep in our bedroom. But she does want to talk to. She would normally want to do that, but she doesn't want to do that right now because she knows that Ulfric Stormcloak is not in Windhelm. For the game he is, but for our story purposes he's not. He was currently in a battalion, apparently, for some reason, down south. Now, she is supposed to be heading down south to check out what's going on. That's her current goal, is that she's supposed to head down south. We were originally heading to Solitude because I was going to run around in Solitude, maybe do some shopping, but we don't have any money, and I don't want to kill bandits in this area because the bandits in this area are far too strong for Elisif Veneria at her current level. She's also not supposed to fight the Stormcloaks. They don't need to know that she's a member of the Thalmor. She doesn't want them to know that. She also is not to engage with the Thalmor. The Thalmor are to treat her as if she is a member. She is not a Thalmor. So if these guys yell at her, it's because they're playing in character. And it's definitely not because the game just doesn't register me as a member of the Thalmor. I think it actually does, though, because I could get a lot of stuff from the embassy, and I can, like, walk around the embassy and be in the embassy. We might return to the embassy. If she's given orders to return to the embassy, she will, but she won't go back unless she's told to, because she doesn't feel like she's supposed to. Because she's not. She's supposed to be continuing on her mission. Which, right now, she's supposed to head down south and try to find Ulfric Stormcloak. Figure out where he is, what he's doing. She's allowed to do whatever she wants in that regard, and she doesn't have to do it right now. Eliswin, or whatever her name is, basically told her, he might be in the south, we don't know. Go down and check it out until I tell you otherwise. You basically can be wherever you want as long as you're in the south looking for him, but you don't have to make it, like, she doesn't have to go straight there, which is why she went to Solitude and ran around Solitude for a bit. My guess is that she's just enjoying the fresh air of being out of the embassy finally. She's been cooped up in the embassy for weeks, and she is absolutely against the being there. She does not want to go back. She wants to do it. She wants to be able to get to explore. She wants to be able to take in the sights of Skyrim. She might do some dungeon diving. She's very proud of herself, but she's also very adventurous. She likes the idea of being adventurous. Now, why did I want to play this character? I should probably talk about that. I don't really talk about that with most of the characters, but this one kind of has a good reason for it. Not just the fact that, oh, I came up with this idea and I think it's going to be good. Ooh. Is this tree always here? I didn't know there was a tree that was blocking the roads of Skyrim. This probably plays hectic for the mod that makes it to where the cart goes. I wonder if the cart avoids this spot. Let's go see what this marker is. It might be a dragon shrine, a dragon shout shrine, or it might be or it might be a shrine to a god. Now, if you're wondering whether or not she'll be dragonborn, well, you're gonna have to wait and see. I'm not gonna reveal that just yet. Oh, it is a shrine. I wonder. I wish I could tell what this shrine. Well, I know who the shrine's to, because the shrine is to Zen. But I kind of wish I knew what Zen did, because I'd love to be able to switch to worshiping him if he was good. But what's going to end up happening is I'm going to talk to him, and it's going to say pay 100 gold, and then I have to pay the 100 gold. I could sit here and save and then reload, but I don't want to do that. So we're going to continue. She's not ready to switch gods just yet. As far as Ariel goes, let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick so that we know what we're going to miss with that, and then I'll go back to why I've chosen this character and what this character is about. So she's got comfortable range. So she's a part of Ariel, so she learns all of her skills 3% faster based on her favor with Ariel. So she's going to want to raise her favor with Ariel, so she learns her skills faster. She's a highborn. She's a high elf, so she's born with 50% extra magicka. She resists fatigue, so her elven blood gives her 25% resistance to fatigue. And then the followers of Ariel fulfill her destiny by saving Tamriel. Don't know if we're going to do that just yet. Master all the skills. I don't even know what that would mean. Become the champion of the Sacred Chantry. Probably, maybe, possibly. I don't know. And high elves are most deserving of my favor. So we are already definitely in the good graces of Ariel, because we are the superior race of high elf. We are superior to all of Nirn, and all of Nirn should learn to respect our beck and call. We'll go ahead and put that on. That could be useful, especially in the early game. Let's go ahead and do a quick prayer to Ariel, just to achieve our favor. I'm guessing it's 10. It's 10%. It's 1/10. No, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Basically, at 30 we have 3, and at 4 we're gonna have 40. I mean, at 40 we're gonna have 4, and at 50 we're gonna have 5. That's what I'm thinking it's gonna do. I don't know. I have not worshipped Ariel before. I've not followed this path line before. Well, she could go fight the vampires. The vampires could be something she does. Maybe she eventually gets word from Ellison that getting rid of the vampires is a big deal for them, because they're causing a lot of problems for the high elves. Maybe she wants her to go check it out, and we're not going to become a vampire. I don't want to become a vampire again. My big reason for not wanting to become a vampire anymore, and the reason why I don't want to play characters as vampires, is I feel like it's not that the vampires are too strong, because I could just remove the better vampires mod if that was the case. Ugh. Well, these merchants didn't make it. Go take the dagger. The steel dagger's not bad. Filthy, dirty breeds. I'm gonna have to. I don't know if I'm gonna have to tone down the racist high elf thought process. I might get flagged on YouTube for that. I didn't think about that before, but that's always a possibility. Now she's allowed to do, like I said, she's allowed to do as she sees fit.
Join the Legion. The United Empire is better.
She might join the Dark Brotherhood. She might join the Thieves Guild. It's unlikely I'll join the Thieves Guild. I have a character who's specifically joining the Thieves Guild, so I might not join the Thieves Guild. I might join the Dark Brotherhood, though. The Dark Brotherhood would actually be kind of interesting to join as a high elf and go about the process of being like a vamp, like going about that. We also might do Meridia's Beacon. If this is going to be my Vampire Hunter playthrough, I haven't decided. I didn't actually think about that, but the fact that it's part of her following Auriel, and the fact that she would be able to follow Auriel's respects and do like what he wished, she would definitely be interested in that. Now, what's the character? Why this character? If I wasn't planning on doing the Vampire Hunter with this, what was this character? Why was this character made? This character has a specific thought process in the fact that I wanted to show my views on Talos worship and on the Civil War in Skyrim and all that from my side if I was a Thalmor. If I was a member of the Thalmor. Like, where my brain kind of goes with it. The reason, I think that it would actually be interesting for me to talk about, because I might be wrong. If I am, please feel free to correct me in the comments. I might not. I might keep the views I have, because when it comes down to it, I feel like Skyrim is a game of play as you see fit. You don't have to play as a certain type. We could also do the underground again. That would be fun. This character would do. I feel like this character would go for the underground eventually. She might. I'm not going to have her do it right this second because I have no reason to. Eventually, LSF might reach out and say, "Hey, go do this." She might go, "Okay, sure, I'll do this as you command." But the one big thing about her is I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to show my side of what I thought about the war as if I was Thalmor. Like, obviously that's going to change with how I feel, because we saw how I felt being anti-Thalmor in You dare face us, the High Elf? Fools. I say that, but I'm at that point in the game where it's like, ooh, it's like I gotta play Matrix with arrows. Come on. I knew that was good. Once I get so close, it doesn't matter. Don't. That's cheating. That's cheating. Get back here. Go ahead and take the arrows, take the hunting bow. We're not gonna, like I said before, we're not gonna do any hunting, but she might use the hunting bow if she wants to do a stealthy kill before she gets her magicka that's stealthy. Again, we are playing with what do you call it? We are playing with the survival mode engaged. I am going to do that with all the characters that I can, and because I do enjoy that, it does make me feel like the game has a little bit more to it, especially with these characters I plan on taking it easy with. Jeez. Yes, none of that's any good. But what is her? But like, I wanted to. What is her main goal? Like, what's her personal goal? Like, we know that she's working for the Thalmor to find out where Ulfric Stormcloak is right now, and I'm going to give her different missions and stuff like that. That to me makes sense. She believes in the Thalmor. She personally has faith in the Thalmor. She believes in what they do. She believes in what they what goes on with them. But does that mean that she is going to want to kill Talos worshippers? Does that mean she's going to automatically find herself at odds with anybody who worships the Talos? Probably. She probably doesn't have a very good peace with the Thalmor. She probably has. I mean, she doesn't probably have very good feelings about the people who worship Talos. She does not see Talos as a god. The 9, the 8 might be gods. She can understand that. Like, yeah, that makes sense. They're not good, or they're not powerful gods. They're not notable gods, but they are gods. Although I think that Ariel is technically Akatosh. Ariel might be one of the gods. I can't remember. I know that there's like a connection between the elven gods and the human gods. Like the way that they see them is slightly different, but they're all like similar, like Kinnereth and Kain being the same. And she could have worshipped Stendar and a couple of other, and I think that was the only god of the 9 that I recognized in the options during my religious choice. I didn't know what god she would choose in the end. I did really think I was going to pick Oriel, but Oriel makes sense to me because Oriel is the patron god, and it also is that it increases all skills, which is a great thing to get when I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with the character early on, is to just start the character with all the skills. But yeah, she's going to be going around doing what she feels like. We might get should we get this farm? We should get this farm. That would be good. But she would need a steward, and I don't have a steward on call right now. We might come back to this farm as soon as we find somebody who's going to be our steward. I'm trying to think if there's anybody I can think of that would make a lot of sense for her to grab. Obviously not a Nord. They're not smart enough to run a business. I mean, heck, look at what they run into. Look at the type of country they run. I could find a Breton. Bretons are relatively smart. Or Khajiit. They're not bad for a beast. Definitely not an Argonian. I don't know. Maybe Khajiit. Maybe not a Khajiit. Might steal my supplies. I'll have to put some thought into it. She is going to want somewhere to stay, though. She's going to want a house eventually. She's not super big on what house she gets. She doesn't really care. But she is going to be looking into a house eventually. Might not be a house right now. Might not be a house. Might not be any kind of, like, specific kind of house. What's this? Probably just some kind of Nord stone pillar. Looks like it. Let's see. Make sure it's not something to Talos. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like anything to Talos. Good. Better not to be. I'd burn it myself if I could. No, I'd burn it myself if it was Talos related. It's not Talos related though, so I'll let the Nords have it for now. She's definitely, like I said, she's definitely not going to do any hunting. She'll kill things that try to kill her. So if like a mud crab attacks her, or if like the wolves attack her, she'll obviously defend herself, but she'll just leave the bodies to rot. She will not sully her hands with it, and she does not care about the supplies she could get from it. She does not care about any of that. That might change eventually. She might eventually sully her hands to get some stuff later, but she's definitely not doing it now. Due to a lack of food options, obviously I'm going to be eating food of Skyrim. I would have had her be like, I'm not going to eat their food, but like, if I do that, she's going to starve. Oh. Nordic revelers, they're probably drunk off their brains right now. It's the middle of the day, how dare they drink at this time? I will pop in and out of character like that, give her thought process on the certain go-abouts. I would have done that, but I don't think there's an option to say no. So I'm like, I don't want to do it because I'm like, I don't want her to say yes. Wolves. This beastful land, showing its teeth, I guess. Oh wait, no. Nope. I'm not even gonna bother starting Hunterborn because there's no point. I mean, I could start Hunterborn, but I'm literally just going to ignore it. I don't need to worry about it right now. Like, I don't even know if she'd go. I don't even know if she'd do any hunting if she was like starving. And the truth may be is that she may just not know what she's doing. She may have no idea how to do any of that. But we talked about her goals. Well, I don't know if we talked about her personal goals. Her personal goals are just to explore. She wants to see what this world has. She can't leave. She's not allowed to leave Skyrim. The bead tells her location to Elwyn, whatever her name is. It gives her her location no matter what she does, so she can't leave Skyrim. She has to be here. If she already knows that if she gets rid of the bead or if she leaves Skyrim, she's basically going to be marked as a traitor to Thalmor and be hunted down. Which kind of gives us a bit of information into her backstory, which I do have a bit of an idea of what her backstory is. Is one of the reasons why she's so annoyed with this whole situation, because her backstory kind of makes her annoyed with the situation. Now, let's see. This might take me north, and I'm supposed to be heading north. So. Beasts. There's another one. Owl creatures. Let's see. What do we have around here? She will be doing alchemy. I'm going to find it hard not to do alchemy in Skyrim. Personally, I think it's too powerful not to use, just because she does need the alchemy. Although, she's also going to make more sense because she's going to be more of a money kind of person. What the? Friggin'. Okay. Yep. Saw that coming. Spriggans are a little too powerful for me. Let's not dive into this cave. Bad idea to dive into caves that you probably shouldn't be diving into. She has a bad feeling and turns tail and leaves. She's the class. Now let's talk about out of character of who this is. Venera is a high elf, obviously. She's a member of the Thalmor, obviously. But she's not a member of the Thalmor by choice. She believes in the Thalmor because she's been indoctrinated in and kind of brainwashed to believe them. But she's not actually, like, doing this because she likes the Thalmor. The truth is, she's doing this because she was sold into the Thalmor. Well, not really sold, more of traded. Dragon's Ton, Joffrey. Whoa, what the? Weird. Moving on. I don't want to fight those bandits. But she was traded into the, Thalmor. Now, why was she traded into Thalmor? Her father was a noble in the Shivering Isles, or the Somerset Isles, whatever the Isles the High Isles are from. I'm pretty sure it's the Somerset. But she was she is the third born of the family. She has two brothers who are older than her. She is the daughter, and she was going to be married off to some noble man that she knew She didn't really care for him, but she also didn't care about the marriage. She wasn't like, oh, I don't want to marry this guy and blah 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 blah. Oh. If we stick around, we might watch this noble, this Imperial and his guard get sent to the moon by this giant. I am definitely not getting involved with that though, because I definitely can't take a giant on, and she knows that for a fact. But she definitely does. Her father was basically a noble, and she, like I said, she was the third born, gonna marry a guy that she wasn't really into, but it was one of those like, yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. I'm the daughter of a house. I'm not the highborn. I'm not gonna be taking any good positions. I'm gonna be a wife. That's fine. Well, that didn't go over so well. Her father was eventually accused of Talos worship. She knows her father's not a Talos worshiper. Her father's not an idiot. So she knows that he's not a Talos worshiper, but he was accused of it. And apparently there was enough evidence to make it pretty much like, yeah, he was going to be executed for his crimes, and like there was a lot going on about it. And she did not know how to feel about it for the longest time. But it didn't matter how she felt about it. That's not what this ended up leading into. What eventually happened was her father basically said, "If I'm a Teleso worshiper, why would I give you a soldier for the Thalmor army?" And the Thalmor were like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "My daughter will serve in your military, and you will not, and you will let these crimes against me, these false allegations, go." And my daughter will serve in your military for as long as you see fit. And they basically said yes. And she was carted off to the Thalmor to be drilled, indoctrinated, and eventually shipped off to Skyrim because this is where they put her. Now, she's been working at the embassy for a long time, partially serving drinks, partially, I saw a wolf. There's a wolf. I will definitely take as many options as I can to learn destruction magic as I can, so we can get some destruction magic skill up. But she was eventually told, she was serving drinks, cleaning, taking care of things. Like, they have servants for that, but they also put, like, I would see them putting the lower ranks to do it as well, just because that's how the military normally is, as far as I'm concerned. I served in the military IRL, so I kind of imagine that that's kind of how a really crappy military goes, and that's kind of how it is with the Thalmor. But after a while, she eventually she got herself some knowledge, and eventually we got to where we are now. She was told by Ellison, "Hey, you've earned your keep." One moment. Sorry about that, I had to sneeze. But she said, "You've earned your keep. I believe that you're loyal to us now for you to have a mission, but you're going to take this bead with you. If you ever get rid of this bead, or if you ever ignore my orders, or if you ever try to leave Skyrim, you're basically going to be marked as a traitor to the Thalmor, and you and your family will die." She doesn't really care about her family. Her brothers are two snobby jerks who she saw as nothing more than obstacles in her life. Her father was, she doesn't even know what to think of her father, because she doesn't think he's a Thalmor believer, but there was a lot of evidence about it. He was ready to get rid of her in order to bury it, so who knows. And finally, her mother, she doesn't know her mother. She knows that she has a mother, obviously, but prior to her being old enough to remember, her mother was gone from the story altogether. Her father never talked about it. Every time she'd ask, he said there's nothing to talk about there, just to forget it. So she doesn't even know who her mother is. Now she doesn't like. Now, like I said, she believes in the Thalmor because of the indoctrination. She's a believer in Ariel, though. She's believed in Ariel her entire life. She's always followed Ariel of Light, because he must be someone of greatness. He must have been. He's a great god. She has so much faith in him. Now, we're probably gonna end up staying in Riverwood for our first night, because it is getting dark, and she is getting tired. She's also getting hungry. She's not super tired then. She has nothing against the idea of continuing on her march south. She's kind of making her way south, but she's kind of making her way south the wrong way. She could have gone down the path of Falkreath, but I went this way instead. Partially because I am heading for the Guardian Stones. I'll do that with a couple of the characters, where they'll go straight to the Guardian Stones, because I want to get the Guardian Stones to boost my knowledge of whichever of the 3 skills I plan on using. She is a mage. She is primarily a magic user. She is going to get the Guardian Stone of the Mage, and she's going to get herself learning Destruction Magic a little bit quicker. And then she's going to hope and try and find her way around making some money, because she doesn't have a lot. She's at 439. I was able to find some gold around the embassy, and you get like, I think it's like 300 when you start in most cases. She does have a couple of potions. She uses one of these, a completely restore magicka potion, a vigorous health potion, regeneration, a couple potions of magicka. So she has a couple of things that I think most of this other stuff we found. We did have some tomatoes. Let's go ahead and eat a few of these tomatoes. Make her stomach stop growling so hard. No. She's gonna keep walking through the night. She's not always gonna stay out late like this, but I think her excitement's got her a little too buzzing, and I kind of want to get the Guardian Stones before we finish this for the night. Well, before we finish the first episode. But her main goal is, but basically, so now what she's planning on doing is she wants to become powerful in her own right. She's glad to be free of the shackles of the embassy, but she doesn't know what she's going to do about it yet. We are going to eventually go to Helgen, but we're not going to Helgen right now. I'm going to the Guardian Stones, but I'm not going to go. I'm going to try to avoid Helgen. It might be another one of those situations like with the RP of Soric, that I might get too close to Helgen for my own good. But I am going to try to avoid Helgen, because I don't want to trigger Helgen just yet. We will eventually trigger Helgen. And then eventually we'll go down a different path because of that, but we aren't going to trigger Helgen yet. We might go actually head into Falkreath. Because Falkreath is a good place for her to go to talk to the thing. Now, these Guardian Stones, she probably doesn't believe in them. Not the warrior. Definitely not the warrior. There we go. She definitely doesn't, I don't think she believes in the Guardian Stones. I don't think she believes in them being a thing. If I walk this way, I'm going to have to walk through water. I can't go that way, though, because I'll go too close to Helgen. You know what? We're gonna have to get our feet wet. That's fine. But we can probably just walk along the shore here. She knows, she's basically looking for anything she can find. She's not very good at this. I'll put that straight out there. She's bad at this. And Elisith probably knows she's bad at this, but she probably also wants her out of her hair. She's probably sick and tired of listening to this girl complain about being stuck in the embassy, and was just like, you know what? Okay, fine. I've heard rumors about this. I need to send somebody, but I don't want to send I don't want to send one of my good agents there. So I'm going to send this girl. She's probably useless. She probably doesn't have very good skills. Whatever. Let's just send her on this and see how she does. She's not an idiot. I don't think she's stupid. I just think that she probably isn't. This isn't her cup of tea. This isn't what she's skilled at. So, right now, she is currently doing what she thinks she should. She is currently looking for Stormcloaks in this area. she doesn't realize that that's probably a dumb idea to just walk around aimlessly looking for Stormcloaks. Looks like we're not staying at the Sleeping Giant, and we're probably gonna stay at Falkreath. That's actually a really good idea. We'll probably sleep in Falkreath tonight. She'll probably base herself out of Falkreath for a while. But she probably doesn't think too much of it, but she probably does feel, I don't know, like there's a certain degree of, nope.
Never should have come here.
She could tell it was a thief right off the bat. Let's go ahead and chuck down that regeneration potion. I didn't realize how bad our carry weight was. Nope. I probably should activate either Highborn or utilize. Too bad. But like I was saying, she's not an idiot. She's just outside of her element. Torturer's Hood, yes please. Amethyst. And we'll leave the rest of that. She is definitely never going to wear, or she's at least probably never going to wear, any kind of leather armor. If she's not wearing Elven or Glass, she's probably not wearing armor. She's probably wearing some kind of robe. Eventually, I want to give her some nice magic robes like Sarah had. Veneria is probably going to be the closest characters to Sarah. The only difference is that their thought process is completely different, and her entire purpose is different. Although, I don't know if Sarah believed in Talos. I know that Sarah respected Talos because her parents did. But I know that she also didn't worship Talos openly because of the fact that it was illegal and she put herself next to him and not more than what she already was. Being the fact that she was already, like, curious from that point. Yeah. This is something she really think, like, why are there zombies? Why are there zombies out here? So we might take care of that quest when we eventually get it. I don't know why I'm not getting a destruction level up. I would have expected to get one by now. But, overload burden. But, we're getting close to the end of this episode. We might just end it in the middle of the road. We might end it somewhere else. I don't know. Like I said, we're going to do potions and stuff like that. Anything else? I thought I skipped one. Okay then. Alright, let's keep going. I think Falkreath is in destruction. Pretty sure it is, because I think that's at the top. Another Thalmor patrol. Holy moly. There's a lot of them today. But, she definitely has the thought process of wanting more. She might eventually get a house. Ooh, there's an idea. We should do the, when we get the offer from Falkreath to get the house, we should just straight up get his house. We should purchase the land and just have her build her own house. It'd be kind of weird for her character because I feel like she would want somebody else to build it, but I don't have that option, so maybe I'll just have her build it herself. I need to stop picking up flowers because I keep getting overburdened by since I have that abundancy mod. Actually, does this restore health? Yes, it is. Just gulp down a bunch of these flowers. She definitely needs to get some sleep. Now we're almost there. There's the Dark Brotherhood. It might have been, like I said, we might join them eventually. I could see her joining the Dark Brotherhood for a lot of reasons. Be a good way of getting a lot of power. But for now, she's going to continue on towards Falkreath. I'm going to pick up the next episode right after this one. So I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys. you guys later. If you guys have liked this, please hit that like button. The more likes they get, the more interaction they get, the more I'll do them. Whichever one of the side series is more popular, I will be doing that one or at least I'll be motivated to do that one more. But for now, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.